Hi there, my name's John Sahota and I am the Strength and Independence Therapist here at Active Motion. Today in this video I'm going to go through with you the 5 key moments from my latest free educational class, which was all about shoulder pain, mobility issues and how you can overcome them. Let's get into it.
First of all, the thing to get across is your shoulder is not one joint. Your shoulder is multiple joints made up together to get the movement that we need. Okay? Your shoulder is made up of your shoulder blade, your humerus, collarbone, your sternum. Okay, there's a whole host of things going on there. We actually have about 4 joints in your shoulder. Okay? We have a lot of muscles that support the movement of the shoulder. I don't need to tell you that our shoulder is the one joint that will move the most out of everything that we have on our body. It's the most stably unstable joint that you have. Okay? If you took a golf ball on a tee, that one third of the joint is ever in contact with the other part of the joint. Okay? So it's not like your hip, which is like this. Okay? It's a bit more like this, which allows us the range of motion that we have. Okay? The problem with that is you've got to have balance and an equilibrium over 1,000 different structures to actually get the rhythm for it to move how we want it to move. Okay? It's one of the only joints that do a combination of loads of different movements at one time and put things in different places and stress them in different ways to allow full range of motion. I've got to put nerves on there as well because the neck can also cause shoulder-related pain. Okay? The nerves travel from the neck down through the shoulder and then down our arm. Okay? So if you get things like burning, pins and needles, tingling, numbness, 9 times out of 10 that's a nerve-related sensation. Okay? Anybody get headaches with their neck, with their shoulder pain? No? I get headaches, but I don't know that it's related to my shoulder pain. Okay. Anybody feel tight and stressed in here? Yeah? Yeah? Yep. That can relate to headaches. Okay? Your upper trapezius or your trapezius muscle, which is a big diamond shape, connects from here to here to here. And you'll feel the tension here, but it actually pulls right up into here, and then you can get a tension headache up and over or around the head. Okay? So you feel like it's coming from your shoulder, but it's actually neck and shoulder related. Okay? And the same going the other way with the nerves down the arm. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah? So if you ever get pins and needles tingling in your hand, for example, and a therapist doesn't touch your neck, you're potentially looking at the wrong area. If that's tight, it can affect that and that. Okay? And that could be a range of motion issue as well. The problem is when we have range of motion issues and we have pain in general, the muscles tighten up to protect. Okay? And sometimes it can be a chicken and egg scenario. What's causing it? Is it the muscle or is it the joint or is it the two playing ball together and now I really can't move? Okay? So what should be happening, and this goes back to the hands-on treatment element, is we should be relaxing down the musculature as well as working the joints range of motion. Okay? And while we're relaxing it down, it's about strengthening it up at the same time. Okay? I'm not an advocate for stretching, which is another myth that's probably just hit some of you in the face. Okay? Because stretching, research has shown you're going to stretch a tissue. It's just going to recall back to where it is. Unless you do a long-term, really robust, you are the most adherent person going at doing a stretching protocol over the next 12 months. Okay? I'm an advocate for eccentric loading. And what that means is stretching a muscle or tension of a muscle while it lengthens. So a bit like stretching, yes, but we have an external resistance load. Okay? What's going to be quicker? Right, bear in mind, when I was a ballroom Latin dancer, I could not touch my toes. Right? Genuinely. Okay? You think I'm joking. I was the most immobile dancer going. Okay? But I can now touch the floor. Okay? Do you think that was me day on day bouncing down here all the way down till I could touch the floor? Or was I doing something called an RDL, a Romanian deadlift, where you hold weights in your hands and you slowly control that and lower and elongate the muscle under tension while it strengthens? Okay? If you take the stretching model and add weight to it, that's pulling me down more than I can get there myself anyway. So that theory works. Okay? But I'm actually elongating that muscle and stretching it under tension. That's what strengthens it while elongating it. So at the moment, what are you doing to help yourself? We have exercises. What else are we doing? We've talked about rest, ice, okay, heat. What else? TENS machine, painkillers. Okay. So what are we on painkillers wise? Here's a conversation. Okay. Pardon? Jack Daniels. Yeah, it works. I can't say that I've tried it, but I think it works a dream. Okay. What painkillers are we on? Ibuprofen, naproxen. Okay. Anything else? Morphine, tramadol. Yeah. Pardon? Paracetamol. Yeah. Okay. I don't need to tell you that painkillers mask the issue. Yeah. There's an element, right, where we go, if we need it to really start to get this going, then fine. As certain situations. We tend to try and get two things to change quite quickly. One is take you off painkillers because it masks the issue. If we can take you off painkillers and it stays the same pain level as it was if the painkillers were there, that's a step in the right direction. So you're no longer taking painkillers, but the pain is the same level as if you were taking painkillers. That's a step in the right direction. Otherwise, you're taking it, you're not getting any more effect. So what's the point of taking it? The other thing we try and knock on the head very quickly is sleep quality. The better quality night's sleep you get, I've already mentioned, you overall recover. Okay. At times, there is times where we say, okay, we do need to take painkillers in this instance, or we need to then start weaning off them and go from 3 tablets a day to 2 or whatever it might be. Okay. And at times, if we need to take painkillers and that's the best option to get sleep, as much as I hate it, that's a risk to reward ratio that I'm happy to take for a while. Because the benefit of sleep is going to outweigh the painkillers. Unless you're getting weird hallucinations and stuff like that off of something like amitriptyline or gabapentin or pregabalin, whatever it might be, then fine. Okay. Ice and heat depends where you put it. Yeah? Okay. So it depends on where you put it. Who thinks ice is going to reduce swelling? Doesn't get to tissue depth enough. If you've got swelling, compress it. Put a tubey grip on it, pump it out of there. Okay? Ice will numb pain, nothing more than that. It binds to the nerve ending, it basically numbs the pain stimulus to the nerve and switches it off for a time period. Okay? The problem with ice is if you put it in the wrong place, you feel worse for it afterwards. What I mean by that, if you put ice on a squidgy muscular area, yes, it might numb pain. So if I put ice right on here, it might numb the pain. When that wears off, it's restricted the blood flow. I feel stiff and achy as a result of it. Whereas this bony portion over here, shove ice on that all day long, if that's what gets rid of your pain and helps you. I'm not saying long term, but as a short term relief. Okay? On a bony, hard landmark or joint, use ice. On a soft, squidgy area, use heat. Because what's going to happen is it's going to help draw blood flow to the area, warm it up, and basically try and relax it as much as possible. Okay? That therefore means I should have a more relaxed muscle, which allows me to move more freely. Yeah? Does that make sense? Okay? Whereas if I have a stiff muscle, because I put ice on it, it's a lot harder then to go, well, actually the pain's gone, but my movement's still like this, because now I feel more stiff than I was beforehand. Okay? Resting, we talked about painkillers, we talked about wrong exercises. Goes back to the conversation that we kind of had of, you might have the right intentions, but in the nicest way possible, you probably need to take a step back to go forwards. Okay? Shoulder rehab is a lot more basic than you think it is. Okay? Something simple, done well, is better than something complex, done poorly, or not done, essentially. The way that we work with shoulders is don't overcomplicate it. We strengthen the painful movement. Goes back to, okay, if I get 3 out of 10 for pain here, keep working it, we'll go higher, and we'll go higher. Okay. So we've talked about heat, we've talked about ice. My other thing is keep it moving. That's the biggest thing. And that goes with anything, okay? 95% of the time. either get a broom handle or use your arm, other arm, completely relax this. So if you completely do this for me, completely relax your bad arm, hold it with your good arm. How far can you take that? So that's not a strength issue. That's a joint related issue. That's a move. So there's a difference, right? If I get you to actively lift your arm with no support, you're using your musculature. That's an active movement. If you get pain with that, it can be joint, but it also can be muscle. Okay? If I get you to completely relax and allow me to take your arm, or you take it with the other hand, that's a passive movement. There's no muscle engagement. Okay? Meaning it's more likely, not 100% fact, but it's more likely to be a joint related issue. Okay? So you're not lacking strength at this moment in time. You probably are to some description because of how long it's been going on for. But that's more of a joint mobility issue. So lifting this is not going to help you quickly regain your movement. Okay? If I use my bottle like a broom handle or a golf club or whatever you've got handy, okay, I'm using my good arm, hold my bad arm on it. I'm pushing with my good arm to work my mobility to that 3 out of 10 zone. And then I come back down. Same thing. Okay? And I can do that if the broom handle's long enough, I can go sideways. Yeah? If I want to work rotation, I bend my elbows, I can do the same thing. Yeah? You could do that around a door frame if you're there and then turn your body. Okay? You'll also find with a joint related issue, if you move your body around your arm, you can probably move it further. So everyone understand what I mean by that? If I do that, okay, or I do that, one is moving my arm, one's moving my body around my arm. Okay? You'll probably find you can move your body around your arm further. It's a psychological trick. But it works. Okay? So that's joint related stuff. Pure mobility. First thing you need to work out is, can I do it actively? No. How far can I go passively? Okay? A very good now strengthening exercise through range of motion that requires no equipment other than a wall, okay, is, I don't even need the wall, I'll show you. If I place my little finger on the wall, imagine my hand's the wall, okay, let's do that way. As soon as I do that, I engage my rotator cuff, the stabilizer of the shoulder, okay? I can then push that up. It feels more stable, I get good resistance. I can probably go higher than if I didn't push against the wall. So if you do that with the other hand, push in if you can. Okay? Slightly better for some people? No? If you repeat that, you'll build the strength around it. Okay? There'll be an element that you'll get to pain, but if you keep working that, it will get easier. Then what happens is if you can get right up here, you can lean into it to get that full range of motion. If you want to work that even further, hold a band in that hand, still work against the wall, hold the band in the other hand, then lift up. Okay?
Thank you for watching my free educational class and the 5 key moments from that session about shoulder pain, mobility issues, and limitations to daily activity. Now, if you want some exercises to help with your range of motion, forwards and sideways, then watch this next video because it's going to be hugely beneficial for you.